So, yeah, about that. Oh shit. Yeah, so that's basically what goes on with that sound and deception shit. It's not cool. And let me turn this shit down because I heard it on the video. It was annoying. Um, yeah, that's why, just elaborate on it a little bit more, and then after that, I'm gonna weave this into what I was talking about on the time traveling and shit. Okay. Uh, Basically, the legacy. It's why, a lot of people, the real physical the people who are physically annoyed with why we don't have a legacy left behind and why our stuff seems to be stolen and taken from us all the time. It leads back into the same thing I was talking about. People call it polygamy, but you can call it whatever you like. I know what nature is doing and what it's for, and it's just for that. At the end of the goddamn day, nobody dies at the same time. Nobody truly gives a fuck about anybody but other than what they can do for them. If you stop doing something for somebody, then all of a sudden they don't love you no more. But yet love is unconditional. If you're with somebody else, a guy could be with somebody else or a woman could be with someone else. This works both ways. And then all of a sudden the guy doesn't like the girl no more, or the girl doesn't like the guy all of a sudden because they was with somebody else. I don't catch how that makes any sense. How does love have anything to do with it if love is unconditional? Now, this is a reason why we don't have a legacy. There's nothing to leave behind, and this is what the universe is showing you, why it was meant for a man to have more than one woman. And I'm not just defending myself. I'm defending all men, and I'm defending the women too. But if the women can get out of having a competitive mind all the time, because that's what happened. They turned us into competitors. We're competing against each other. Girl power, male power, G's all day, G code, female code, women's night out, men's night out, and all that shit. I'm watching a football game. Get the fuck out of my face. Or I'm going to the club with the girl. Get the hell out of my face. Stop calling my phone. Turn it on vibrate and all that shit. It's fucking stupid. That's not how it works. Women do certain things, men do certain things. That's just what it is. It's not, oh, well, how about I fuck a whole bunch of dudes then? How about I have a bunch of kids with a whole bunch of guys, since you want me to be with a whole bunch of women? That shit fucks up everything. It's not about having a competition. That's an ego type thing. It's about using your weapon, like I told you about the caterpillars. They use their everything to better themselves. That's why they could leave a potent seed behind, and then somewhere down the line, the caterpillar became poisonous. But before, it wasn't. It took everything that it could and used it to its advantage, even if it was breeding with different caterpillars. And on top of that, a lot of men are out there running around with their head cut off, and they so-called got all this knowledge, but they call us breaking the code and shit, but I'm not breaking the code. If we want truth and we so-called the Egyptians and the Moors and Hebrews and all this shit, then why we gotta keep on lying? Men already know that they fuck with a lot of women. They're gonna do that, period. Point blank, period. And talk about it with their dudes and shit, and then keep it away from their woman, keep it a secret all the way to the grave. But you're playing a game. That game was set up for you because you had to do that because the white man was watching you and said that he didn't want you to have that many fucking kids because you're going to wipe his ass out. So y'all walking around like, how we going to do this? We're going to take over. We got to go this. We got to do that. We got to fill out papers. We got to kill people. But you're not catching that your very penis and your damn pants can wipe out these motherfuckers, and it's already wiping them out. But they don't want to keep that in mind because when they get into that type of movement, they keep secrets. They want things to be sacred. Unless you're worshiping somebody's God, then all of a sudden, okay, I'm gonna bring multiple women to whichever god you picking, your mysterious gods, like King Noble says, the mystery god. You'll bring those women to the mystery god, but they don't belong to you at all. If she's just a whore in the phone, just that number that you don't know about, and that fucking a win, that aborted baby and that condom and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad about abortion on one end and then turn around and be masturbating and ejaculating into condoms and coming in people's mouths and talking about something. Well, they're aborting our babies. But you're practicing eugenics too. You're also practicing eugenics. So what? Oh, well, ancient people did oral sex too. Okay, we'll pull it out and then put it inside of her vagina and still have the baby with the semen. You still either way, you're not focusing on what you're doing just as well as the white man's not. He's trying to defend his own species. You ain't even using all of your weapons to defend your own species. You still got his concepts that he gave you, which gives him the upper hand. So you could say it's, okay, 50-50%. He's doing that eugenic stuff, it gives him 10%. He did the slavery shit, it gave him another 10%. So let's say we know he did more, but we're going to say he has 70% on you and you got 30. Okay, you got black people who are against black people. Then you got people who are all religious and fighting each other. I just took you all the way back down to the 50% you had still didn't even belong to you, because all of the power that you're using is only to sustain you. So out of that 30%, 15 or I would say 17 of that was used to maintain your existence, to say you had the 30%. So it was just an illusion. You dig what I'm saying? Now the other 13% is just you being who the fuck you are, waking up, going, taking the shit, eating, and conversating with people about dumb shit all goddamn day. You know, so, you know, like that's the reason why we don't have legacies. If people, you know, y'all can come up with all these debates and arguments about why we don't have a legacy, why we're not leaving anything behind because we don't own businesses. Yeah, we've owned businesses. I showed y'all that paper about all the stuff that black people created in my other videos. That was a lot of people who created a lot of things that people have taken. But what you didn't catch here is that when the male died, who did he pass that on to? Oh, he passed it on to his son? Okay, let's go. Let's play along. I love playing along. He passed it on to his son, right? Well, eventually, somewhere down the line, the government or the Caucasoid takes it. Or the house niggas take it. You know why? Because they know that if you keep on passing this down, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. This is the reason why you only have a certain amount of kids. This is the reason why certain neighborhoods only have a certain amount of rooms in each one of the places. You didn't catch that? Why isn't there a place with a neighborhood where people have 20 or 30 kids? Because it's normal. It happens, especially in black communities. It's not rare for somebody to have 20 kids at all. People be having 35 abortions. Trust me, they can have 30 kids. Now, why do you think that's like that? You think it's like that because they just didn't want to build them like that? No. It's like that because they know that you are capable of doing that. So they want to put inside of your mind, they put the images there like, okay, that you wouldn't do too much anyway. You don't want to do too much. That's what makes you start aborting them. That's what that shit is for. Okay, so that's why we don't have a legacy. They can't pass that down. Who are you going to pass it to? When a man dies, the woman goes and gets another man. See, it's set up that way. When a woman dies, it doesn't make a damn difference. Not saying you don't matter, but I'm saying the legacy doesn't get taken anywhere because the masculine physical part of it is still inside of the male's hand. He would fight for that, and he has a way to fight for it because he's still there working. He would be part of the business somehow anyway. Or the movement, whatever it may be. He will already be part of it. And he will be passing it down to his children. It's in his nature to protect his stuff. A female feels like her kingdom is about to be destroyed. Like, oh shit. Oh man, I guess I gotta go get, she'll go get another man, and then that shit will be fused with something else. The legacy never really goes on. Then on top of that, as soon as your child is born, you're inside of a hospital. The legacy is soon, so even if you could pass it down, the legacy is signed away to the Caucasian. So as soon as the father passes, even if he has multiple wives to pass it down to so they could stick together and continue the legacy, he still owns everything by paperwork. That's why they call it polygamy, or you do it with Allah or Jesus or whatever the other religions are that practice that shit. Because they're going to snatch it from you anyway. You know, and it's easier when a male is by himself, or he appears to have a mate, because he's just That's just for the time being. But he's not really building up a legacy. He's building up a legacy for somebody else. Because as soon as you gone, they come and confiscate shit, and the woman be left by herself trying to, no, he left this for us. You'll have the will with the person signing the shit to you, and they'll find something wrong with that and go, oh, well, nah, see, the state owns this. Well, who the fuck is the state? Is state a person? Go get state and tell that motherfucker to come talk to me. See, this is the shit that people got to go through. And I know some of y'all already know what I'm talking about, but you're going to have to accept that this is, accept the cause of it. This is the cause. It's not about fairy tale stories. It's about components being put into their place. Components being put out of place. This is how people make things happen. And you be wondering, like, why I can't do this and why I can't do that. You still have so many barriers that you can't even think, you can't even think straight, because your barriers are hindering you from even thinking a thought. You can't even think a thought. You know, a lot of women say, well, the guys are out doing stupid shit and all of the good men are taken and da 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 da. Okay, well, the only way you can say that the good man is taken is if you've been with some stupid ass niggas. You've been fucking with dumb ass motherfuckers who've been buying you, and you've been letting them buy you. So we're not going to even go there. You've been letting them buy you. Stop letting them buy you. Stop letting them buy you. You could have, all that energy you used picking out shit, talking slick and laughing at shit that wasn't even funny, to get to that motherfucker's pocket all the way till you get to his goddamn, find out his sex game is weak and shit. You can get a lot of stuff that you gotta exchange when you just getting bought. No spirituality, no legacy, nigga ain't got no life goals. Y'all both are inside of a game working for somebody else. When y'all done playing your game, humping, creating kids to send them to school, you go to work. Once y'all done and you drained out, one of y'all pass away, two of y'all pass away, that fucking android come and snatch up all your shit. He snatch up all the energy that you had, and your kids be sitting there fighting. That's my mom and this, and I signed this paper, and that's my last name, and that's her social security number, and I was living with her for 10 years. And all. Why are you debating? Look, let me fast forward y'all real quick just to show you, you know, because how deep the law game goes when they playing with your head. Just to prove to you that you're really not even in a relationship at all. If it's not royal, it ain't the soil, so it ain't gonna grow. Now, how did you know I was dead to come and take my estate and give it to the state? How'd you know I was dead? How do you know where I live at? How do you even know my name? How do you know what I have in my safe or in my bank? How do you know this? To confiscate it, to come and conversate with me about what you're going to take from me. You want to know how they know? Because you gave them away. Your doctor doesn't, the doctor doesn't belong to you. What is the doctor, one of your women who delivers babies? Is the doctor your husband who delivered your child? Who made them clothes that you wearing? Who made the clothes that your kids wearing? Who taught your kids their education? Who taught them how to talk? Who taught them their language? Is that your language? Oh. Who gave you your jobs? Whose face is on that piece of paper? You see, you are already, so when you get the thought in your head like, oh, well, fuck that, I'm not with that. Men too. Men say the same thing when I be talking to them about this shit. I can't deal with that many women and all of this shit. Or women who like, I ain't doing that stuff. I'm not being around a bunch of women and that's my man and all this shit. Okay, but there's something you got to take into consideration here. You already have multiple wives. Women, that's just what we call them. You have multiple wives already. Your co-workers, the girl you bought your clothes from with her name all over your girl's clothing. Yes, a woman made that, and that's one of your wives. It's just you don't know that you're a wife, so you're a mistress to her. She don't need to fuck you. You don't need to fuck her husband. But they know that that's one of the many wives. You have to be one of many wives because your ass is working with another group of women to feed your energy to another male who's probably dead right now, but his legacy lives on through his children. I ain't feeling it though. Y'all want to be royal, but y'all want to be, you want to be artificial royalty. You don't want to be a real royal being. You can't really actually take that. That's why I tell some people, turn around and go back to your ways and do what you do as the person you thought you were. Because coming over here, you might not be ready to deal with true energy, true power, true manifest, the true self. You probably can't deal with that because you, first of all, have to be naked. A male can't sit there and call a woman a whore all goddamn day. If he's a whore too. She's a whore. Well, the money that she's using you for and got from you, you got from sucking somebody else's dick. And that sucking a spiritual dick is worse than sucking a physical dick. So the male's more of a whore than a female. So we got that scratched out where there's no competition here. There needs to be no competition. It's just that we are losing because we are not playing the cards we got in our damn hand. Well, I can't play that. This motherfucker playing cards. You can't play the card, and you won't put down the card. Fuck it and say I ain't playing the game. You gonna play and play by this motherfucker's rules after he threw away the other rules and made a new batch of rules, and he can do only I can do what I want to do and you can't do shit. And you just gonna believe that shit? Come on now. And people think it's an emotional hazard or something to deal with a bunch of women, or the women think it's an emotional hazard to see a man with another woman. It's not an emotional hazard. You feel empty. You feel like you can't compete and you're having a competition, and that's why you're having those issues. You feel like you're having some type of competition. But if you get past all that stuff, the first thing you would notice is that you are doing less work. It's going to be less slavery going on. More education. Multiple languages. Automatically, your kids are automatically speaking multiple languages. A woman working 2 jobs will turn into working no jobs. Add a third woman, no one's working. No one has to go to work to do shit. At all. You already got an army. By the time your daughters grow up, they have an army. You see, but people don't understand royalty at all. You're trying to be a royal Caucasoid. Y'all don't want to hear this though. I don't think y'all want to hear this. You're trying to be a royal Caucasoid. So when you want to be a royal Caucasoid, you try to mix pleasure with purpose. There's a purpose for things, but then there's what's pleasuring your ego. Because the programs you got. You got to reboot. You got to reprogram and use things for what they're supposed to be used for. It's no difference from alcohol, weed, and cocaine. They're used for certain things, but when you start using them for shit that they ain't used for, they start becoming they become hazardous to people's health and people's environments. You know, and these are the things that you really gotta keep in the front of your head, the front of your mind. You know, it's why we don't have legacies. It's why we can't wipe out this damn Caucasoid without fighting them. Why do you think men are all going to the even hours at that point? So I'm not putting anybody down. Where you think, damn, how in the fuck am I going to get these motherfuckers out my way? They are in my goddamn way. My people stuck. How the fuck do I get them out of this shit? God damn. And you go, oh man, you can have a fucking heart attack trying to figure that shit out. And they result to that because they have no other weapon. It's the one that he left open. You know why he left it open? So he can fuck your ass up. He left that one gate open because that's the only exit he left open for you until you make another one. And the funny thing is, there's all types of exits. You won't use those exits because he said don't. It's not like they're not right there. You can go through any one of these hundreds of millions of doors, but you only gonna pick that one where he gonna fuck your ass up at as soon as you walk through it. Remember, the Negro isn't competitive, and as soon as he becomes competitive, his demise will be whatever. His demise will be immediate or inevitable, whatever the fuck they said on that eugenics video. You know what they were talking about. They're waiting for you to be competitive. There's nothing to compete about. We already are what we are. We already got the dominant gene, but we're not using it. Our genetics and our DNA and our ancient people, we're the first ones here. So what in the fuck do you think would handle this business? The conscious community alone. If we all practice what we preached, the next generation, we wouldn't have to lift up one gun. I guarantee you that. No knives, no rocks, no sticks, no biological weapons, nothing. All you would need to do is have sex and eat the proper foods, speak the proper words, invoke the proper spiritualities around you. That's all you would have to do, and the motherfucker will be wiped out. He can't compete against a black man's sexuality. He can't compete against a black male's creation. He can't compete against a black woman's sexuality, or a black woman, or she can't compete against a black woman's sexuality or a black woman's creation. She can't. It's taken them 300, 400, 500 years to try to figure out how the fuck they gonna wipe us out right now, and it's still not working. Willie Lynch even said it's not gonna work. He said that's the hard route. It's not gonna work. How much alcohol? How much TV? How much music? How much polluted foods and waters? How many religions? How much education? How many fucked up doctors? How much of these different weapons does it take? How much of these things does it take to wipe out an immortal? How many? How many does it take to wipe out an immortal? You be thinking for the rest of your goddamn life, and after that too, because you can't. Beating a dead cow, horse, monkey, you're beating it and it's dead. Okay, so just a couple things to think about, man. And sound is the reason behind all of this shit. It's because of the sound. You're invoking these things the wrong way. You don't even want it. Why would you invoke it? This is not something that you want. You don't want a God to lie to you, but you want a God to lie to you. You don't want the girl to use you, but then that's what you're showing her. That's what you're doing. You're invoking. You put out the energy of, yeah, now I'm gonna get her because I got this money. So if girls all over the world are just whores and bitches, then that's what the hell you gonna get, whores and bitches. You can't look at them any other type of way. Then that's it. And you got to be honest with yourself. Like I told you, there's a certain amount of belief that you use to get out of people's beliefs. Once you overpower their belief that they used on you, you got the truth. This is why animals don't talk. This is why insects don't talk. And people wondered what the hell they would do with the power of God. The power of God is right in your goddamn tongue. The word is God. Not the word God, but the word is God. What are you invoking? What are you invoking? Peace.